Last time, we saw the results of Beerus awakening, as well as Champa looking for the Super Dragon Balls. This kind of caused some issues with Beerus, eventually leading to pretty much everyone in our group ending up on Beerus' planet, with them now being sent away on a task for him. So what will each of these groups find now that they're looking for different planets? We'll be seeing all that and more in this part 11 of What If Bardock Raised Kakarot. Bardock, Gine, and Granola have successfully made it to Earth, but where are they supposed to go next? Well, the whole reason they came here in the first place is because there was a bunch of strong powers here, so why not try going to the next strongest power that they could find? They don't really know how Earth society works, but maybe if they go to whoever's the strongest, that's basically the highest up the chain they can go. And as they focus, they sense a group of powers far away. They're not incredibly powerful, but they definitely seem way stronger than the normal Earthlings here. It's 3 different powers actually. They're not too sure what to do here otherwise, so they just teleport to that area, with the 3 using instant transmission, then ending up in the middle of nowhere it looks like. Weird, this is just like some island. In every direction, there's just water, nothing else. But this is where they sense those powers. They're floating above the island right now and look down. They see some guy relaxing in a reclining chair, with 2 people wearing orange who are fighting right now. The man in the chair looks up in the sky, and then panics as he falls out of it, with the other 2 then looking up and then seeing the 3 people floating there. Bardock, Gine, and Granola descend down. These 3 don't seem like threats, but they did catch Roshi and everyone else by surprise here. Roshi noticed their energy doesn't feel strange at all, but they definitely don't seem like humans. They look somewhat similar, but he can note the differences right away. 2 of them have tails, and the one with the weirdly colored hair has 1 red eye. Who are these mysterious people? Bardock says he's sorry to bother them, but he explains why he's here, and it's kind of a weird thing to explain. He's here for a god of destruction trying to find some good food. And all he's really asking is, where could they find some good food around here? Roshi's a bit confused. They came all this way just to ask about food? That's it? That's why they came to Kame House? Well, Bardock explains it actually wasn't that long of a trip. They're able to teleport wherever they sense powers, and that's exactly why they came here. Okay, besides the fact that they're aliens and they could teleport, Roshi's intrigued to hear that these 3 can sense ki at all. They do seem pretty powerful, and actually, Roshi's kind of keeping his cool here, while the other 2 humans are freaking out. Their names are Krillin and Yamcha, and they don't know how to react because there's aliens here, on behalf of some guy known as a god of destruction. That's terrifying, although kind of cool at the same time. Roshi is interested in their power, but if they only came here for food, he gives them some suggestions for his favorite foods. He tells them they're probably better off going to a populous area, and Bardock didn't realize he was coming to the middle of nowhere when he teleported here. He'll just go back to where they started. But then Granola notes something strange that he notices. Roshi has a necklace on that looks very similar to a Dragon Ball almost, and he asks if that's what that is. And Roshi goes kind of on guard when they ask this. It seems like they aren't here for the Dragon Balls, but they do know about them. He has to be careful about his answer. Again, they don't know these people. And Granola says they're not here for the Dragon Balls, he just finds it surprising. Does this planet have its own Namekian too? Namekian? No, this is created by Kami. Bardock asks that if by chance, Kami is an alien-looking guy who's also green. You know, is he like a humanoid thing, with antenna and like yellow parts on his arms? Because if that's what he is, then he's Namekian. Well, it's strange for them to find out that their god is actually an alien. What a strange encounter. But Bardock thanks them for the help. They're gonna go off and find some new food now. They turn around and look up, ready to fly off, but they see something in front of the sun. It's a person standing there floating above them. But it's strange, they don't sense any sort of ki coming off this person. He descends down and his appearance is revealed. He looks around almost as if he's scanning everything with his eyes, and then laughs. That was pretty easy, the Dragon Ball's in plain sight. He walks up to Roshi, and Roshi goes on guard, but the man moves too fast for him to react, simply stealing the Dragon Ball from him. He tells him it's good that they're not putting up a fight either. But Krillin and Yamcha then rush in trying to fight the guy, and he simply blocks their attacks, completely unfazed. He's Dr. Heto's greatest creation. They're not going to do anything against him. But his eyes lock onto the other 3 in front of him. He scans them, but he has no sort of data for them. And it's not an issue that he doesn't know who they are, it's just that he doesn't know what they are. His scan doesn't show that they're humans at all, and he tries to gauge their power. It's much higher than these other humans around here too. Krillin then notes the symbol that he's wearing on his shoulder. It's the symbol of the Red Ribbon Army. This is one of the new androids created for the army, Gamma 2. He tells them he's not here to cause trouble. He's simply trying to get the Dragon Ball, which immediately sets off alarms for everybody here. Bardock, Gine, and Granola have no clue what the Red Ribbon Army is, but whatever it is sounds like a problem, especially if they're going around gathering Dragon Balls for whatever. Sending out a guy that proclaims himself to be the strongest weapon in their arsenal. Definitely not a good look. Bardock and Gine then split themselves into multiple people, surrounding him in every direction, and as Granola tries to scan his body for any sort of vital points, he notices that there's no vital points. He doesn't have a blood flow, he's not even breathing. Normally he'd look for that or any sort of internal organs. But what he's seeing isn't the organs of a human or anything, he's seeing mechanical parts, different pieces in machines. That's why they couldn't sense him. As all the Bardock and Gine clones jump Gamma 2, Granola tells them to watch out. This guy isn't a living organism, he's some sort of machine. They don't know what he's capable of, but they start fighting him. First in base, and they're actually outclassed by Gamma 2. But then they power up into Super Saiyan, with Roshi, Yamcha, and Krillin just watching on with their jaws dropped. And Gamma 2 actually looking pretty fearful. What are these people? They're definitely not human, and they could transform too? This is bad. Gamma 2 tries to fight them, but it's of no use. and Bardock and Gina get ready to end it, but Gamma 2 is able to escape, deploying a smokescreen and using his lack of ki to actually escape underwater, tunneling right into the ground and then traveling below the ocean, speeding through the water unnoticed. And he got away with the Dragon Ball. They ask Roshi what that was, but he doesn't know. All he knows is that it's part of the Red Ribbon Army. And Krillin comments on this. He says the Red Ribbon Army is something that they haven't seen in a while. They did cause trouble a while ago, but it seems like they went behind the scenes now. And no one knows what the motive of the army is. And Roshi thanks them for helping, but Bardock says they did help him after all too. You know what? Why not have some fun on this trip? If that Red Ribbon Army is some sort of problem, he'll help the humans out against it. Besides, they're gathering the Dragon Balls, which definitely sounds like an issue here. And thankfully they hear that this place has 7 Dragon Balls, not just 2, which is better because it gives them more time. But how are they supposed to track someone that they can't sense? But Granola says he has an idea. He jumps up in the sky and then powers up. Both of his eyes turn red. Roshi asks what he's doing, and Bardock explains. While he and Gine are Saiyans, he explains what species Granola is and what his abilities are. And just like that, he's able to locate a trail that Gamma 2 left behind. Even though he escaped covertly and dug deep underground to fly away, he can see a very slight disturbance in the water below, an almost unnoticeable trail underneath the ocean. And as he follows it with his eyes, he can see far away there's a hole at the end. He found out exactly what direction Gamma 2 went in, and he tells everyone to follow him. Bardock and Gine fly off, but then ask, can these humans fly? Krillin and Yamcha actually can, but Roshi can't, although one of them will just carry him on their back. Well, that's good to know at least. The humans seem somewhat powerful. And as Granola goes this direction, he picks up on slight things that no one else can see. Leaves that have fallen off trees along the way. Some small patterns in grass that look like they were made by wind. Even though it seems like Gamma 2 might not have made a trail, he did. At least for Granola. And it's a straight shot. They immediately make it to the Red Ribbon Army base. But as they get closer, Krillin and Yamcha note something strange. They sense energy, but it's familiar, and Roshi can immediately tell what it is too. It seems to be in that exact direction of the base. And as they fly closer, they see 3 other people are there looking around. Members of the Crane School, Shen, Tenshinhan, and Chaozu. And they're surprised to see the Turtle School here too, as well as whoever those other 3 people are. They explain, they had a Dragon Ball that was taken by some guy that had no energy. They tried to fight back but couldn't, almost being killed. And they describe his appearance and he sounds exactly like the other guy, except he had red and a number 1 on him instead of blue and a number 2. Alright, so that makes it obvious that they're both related somehow. Both androids created by the same creator. And both Gammas were able to get Dragon Balls, one from the Crane School and one from the Turtle School. Although neither school knows how the Dragon Balls came in possession of the other school. But that's besides the point. Today they gotta put aside their differences because it seems like there's a bigger threat at hand. And Granola simply asks them, is this Red Ribbon Army an issue? And like, how big of an issue is it? Like, kill them all an issue? Or just an issue like, teach them a lesson and stop them in their tracks? He briefly powers up again with both eyes going red. And he simply lists off everything he sees. An exact number of soldiers, the hotspots where most of them are located. And now that he's close enough, he can actually see the signatures of the Dragon Balls. What kind of ability is this? Oh yeah, the Turtle School explains that these guys are aliens. And Granola asks again for an answer. What should they do here? Well, they should at least get the Dragon Balls back and figure out what's going on. Clearly it's not something good, but they don't know how bad it is. Noted then, it's going to be the second option. Just teach them a lesson. Granola says they could sit back, he'll handle this with Bardock and Gine. Bardock and Gine then fly in covertly, with Granola sticking a hand out, holding it up with his other arm. He rapidly moves as he fires precise ki blasts everywhere. The Turtle and Crane Schools watch as a bunch of Red Ribbon Army soldiers fall, either from Granola's sniper shots, or Bardock and Gine teleporting around and knocking them all out with one hit. Granola then launched a blast, blowing a hole in the side of the base, mentally communicating with them, telling them that that's where the Dragon Ball is. It seems like there's 4 of them in there actually, and they probably know the location of the other 3. And Granola says just wait here a moment, as he flies in to help them as well. Roshi and Shen look at each other equally confused. This is weird, even for them. There's a giant explosion in the middle of the base. And then the 3 of them teleporting back in, with Gine and Super Saiyan holding Gamma 1, and Bardock and Super Saiyan holding Gamma 2, both of whom are defeated. They say they found what looked to be some sort of giant weapon in there, and just destroyed it. It was actually thanks to Gine's plan. She actually found who the boss was here, and simply just knocked him out, then placed a hand on his head, reading all his memories. Figuring out that they're making some sort of doomsday weapon, so they made the right choice here. And Bardock also made sure to destroy any sort of equipment that was used to track Dragon Balls too. A small ship then flies in towards them, with a smaller guy stepping off. He tells them to please let the Gammas go, those are his greatest creations. And then Gine turns back, simply walking up towards the guy. He's completely intimidated by her, and she places a hand on his head, reading his memories too. It's Dr. Hedo, and he doesn't seem like a bad guy either. It seemed like he was misled and went all into this just because of the money. But he actually made them to be heroes. Well, they drop Gamma 1 and 2 and don't destroy them, with Hedo just left dumbfounded. What just happened? And how did she know his name? How did they even find out the army's plan? Bardock just tells him don't ask too many questions, just be glad that he made it out of here. He could take his androids and go. They got rid of the core of the problem. But then Granola notes one more issue, simply lifting a finger up, launching a single shot. He saw Magenta with an android body running right towards them, and simply just eliminated him. He was the root of the problem anyways. Krillin thanks them for their help. They didn't even realize they wouldn't need help today. What could they do to show gratitude? And Bardock simply asks, well, can they buy them some food? They don't have Earth's currency, so they don't really know how else to procure it. Meanwhile, we go off into space to see what Vegeta's group's doing. They arrive on planet Vampa, going towards the strong power that they found. And as they teleport onto the planet, an older man runs towards them, immediately seeing that they're Saiyans. The first two people he sees are Nappa and Raditz, and he actually recognized Nappa. He was one of the higher-up warriors, and Nappa looks down at the guy confused. He feels like he recognizes this guy from somewhere. Raditz then yells back to Vegeta. As he flies over there, they were looking around to find wherever that power went, and now they've regrouped. Paragus' face completely goes white. Saiyans are here, and one of them is actually Vegeta. They came right to him. This is what he's wanted for so long. They ask what that power they sensed was. This guy is clearly a Saiyan, but he's very old and that couldn't have been his power. Paragus doesn't even know how to react. He simply just yells out Broly, and they sense a power spike nearby, as a larger Saiyan then flies in. First attacking Nappa, who's barely able to guard against the attack. But Raditz then realizes something really strange. This guy and that other Saiyan, his son, why do they look like Paragus and Broly, the other two people they fought earlier? And now that he thinks about it, when he called out for his son, he actually did yell Broly. It might just be a coincidence. I mean, they're probably just normal Saiyan names, but they kind of look like Paragus and Broly, the ones that they encountered earlier. He demands to know what's happening here. Well. They should have expected that these Saiyans wouldn't be friendly, but Broly's eyes then dart towards Vegeta. At first, he was just protecting Paragus, but now that he sees who's actually here, he immediately snaps, flying towards Vegeta ready to kill him. Raditz turns to Paragus, asking what the hell's going on here. Why are they attacking their fellow Saiyans? And Paragus says he doesn't care that they're Saiyans. Actually, he does care. He cares because he wants to kill them. They're not his allies. They're his enemies. Vegeta tries his best to hold off Broly, then transforming into Super Saiyan. And Vegeta says there's no doubt about it. He and Nappa noticed during the battle too. Putting two and two together, obviously. This guy's name is Broly. The other guy's name is Paragus. They look like the other two that they encountered before. What's going on here? With Nappa transforming and rushing in as well. Paragus' eyes widen. Did they just transform? Raditz turns back to Paragus, angered, grabbing him by the collar. He yells at him, telling him to explain now. What is he trying to do? They were willing to help out these Saiyans, but why is he attacking? And he looks over at the other Saiyan nearby too, Tarble, and he can immediately see the resemblance to Vegeta. How did all these other Saiyans live? Not just Vegeta, but his brother, and then that higher class Saiyan Nappa. But who is this? This guy looks like a low class Saiyan. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't question it. All he says is that he's prepared his whole life to kill Vegeta. The sins of King Vegeta are on Vegeta's hand. He sent Broly here, sending both of them into their doom to live their lives here. And Raditz simply knocks Paragus down to the ground. He says they were willing to help. But if he's gonna act like that, then they'll have to do this the hard way. But Raditz smirks and turns back to Paragus. He should know that they're not normal Saiyans. He and Tarble then turn Super Saiyan, flying in to help Vegeta and Nappa. But it seems like they're having a tough time. Vegeta thought one Super Saiyan would be enough to defeat this guy, but no, he's keeping up with both of them. And even with 4 Super Saiyans now, it's still not enough. Vegeta comments that Broly's power is continuing to rise. What is this guy? And Raditz yells out to them, telling them why Broly's attacking. And Vegeta can't believe it. That's the reason for what his father did? He shouldn't be involved in this. But whatever, he'll end this quick no matter what. He says this Saiyan is dangerous. He must be some sort of mutant. He tells them to hold nothing back. It looks like they're gonna have to kill him as quickly as they can. Paragus gets back up and runs over to where the fight is, watching 4 streaks of golden light fight Broly at once. But one of them starts to change. The aura turns from golden to a more reddish color. An intense fire surrounds him. It's Vegeta. And Paragus pulls out his scout scope. Their powers are all unreadable, as in they're off the charts. But as he zooms in on Vegeta, his power has just completely disappeared. It's 0. Raditz and Nappa then follow suit, also transforming into this red form. Tarble's the only one who can't go Super Saiyan God yet. They try to ritual on him, but the power's way too hard to maintain for him. And for that reason, he's the only one that Paragus can actually clock a power for. But he can sense the pressure from their auras all the way over here. And the 4 of them all surround Broly, with each charging a blast in their hands. A green aura surrounds Broly as he continues to power up too. And Paragus realizes he's doomed. He's gonna die here. Reluctantly, he pulls the remote out of his pocket, shocking Broly. The 4 Saiyans all launch a blast at Broly, but he falls down to the ground, with his power dramatically dropping as he plummets to the ground below. All 4 attacks collide, with the shockwave launching Broly over to where Paragus is. Vegeta looks unconfused. What happened? He just got surrounded by some sort of electricity and then fell to the ground. They would have beat Broly and probably even killed him there, but something stopped him. Vegeta doesn't know what Paragus' issue is, or what's going on here in general, but all he knows is that he shouldn't be involved in this. Whatever his father did, it's not his problem. They shouldn't have to be facing this fight. They were simply just trying to find some food for Beerus. Why does it have to be like this? All 4 of the Saiyans power down, flying back over to where Paragus and Broly are. But Vegeta's also intrigued. The power that Saiyan showed off, it was insane. He clearly couldn't control it, and Vegeta thinks he knows what went on. That collar that was around his neck, it was used to electrocute him, wasn't it? Paragus actually purposefully shocked him, taking him out of the fight, but he doesn't know why. But there's a much more obvious and bigger question at hand. Why are there another Paragus and Broly? Is it just a coincidence that they look similar and have the same names? And also, what was that other power that they sensed leaving Vampa before they landed on here? I mentioned it in the last part, but it hadn't showed up in this part yet. Something very strange and possibly bad is going on here. And Vegeta really wants to know what it is. This is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more parts of the series, or if you just want to help out the channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.